Welcome to Times India TV. Today we have a wonderful program, a program about feminism. This is not about the domination of women on men. It is not a war against men, but it is a feminism. Through this program, we are promoting gender equality. Actually, the name of the program is Gender Equality. To give a serious intensity, just we titled it as feminism, waves of feminism, the rise of feminism. So whatever the title it may be, we are going to voice the oppressed women on behalf of the oppressed women, because we know that if we are at this level, of course we may be in comfortable zone, but we have to voice it out on behalf of millions of people, millions of women who are getting oppressed every day. So that's our motto, to voice out the rights of all oppressed women, to create equality among all genders, and the equal respect. So this is our motto. Thank you so much for joining this program. Today we have wonderful, eminent people with us in our studio. First of all, let me introduce Dr. Binu Thomas, an eminent women leader, Registrar, Sikkim Professional University. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for joining this wonderful discussion.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir, for giving this opportunity, this platform to present. Very interesting show.
Thank you so much. Next guest, we have Professor Rachana Chakraborthy, who is an educationist and educational consultant, author, and an eminent speaker. Having our excellence presence in our program, clearly it's going to be great. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much for joining. Welcome to Times India TV. Now, it's an honor to invite engineer Sonesh Bharadwaj, a well-known social media personality, a media figure. She is a life coach, certified corporate trainer, and an international speaker. So these three are eminent people with a different background, but all are unique in voicing out the rights of women. So thank you so much for joining this wonderful session. So now we are starting this program with the first question. Who is a feminist and what is feminism? The basic question before we begin this program. Let us start with Professor Rachana Chakraborthy ji. Let us hear from her.
Yeah, good evening, everyone. And it's really an honor for me to start and with this important topic. Thank you so much, sir. And the topic is just an evolving topic, the rise of feminism. And I really thank, sir, from the bottom of my heart to have invited me to talk about a very well-known topic. What is this feminism? So I feel actually, sir, feminism is nothing different. It's just a term. It's defined as a social and a political movement that advocates for women's right on the grounds of equality of sexes. Feminism nowhere denies the biological difference. We agree to that. And it isn't about making a woman much more stronger than a man. Women are already strong, we know about it. And it's about changing the way and the perspective of a person looking at a female. So that is what feminism is all about. So I advocate for feminism. I truly stand out because I feel they should also enjoy the rights which is given. So I just want to say a few lines based on that. Strong women don't have attitudes. They set the boundaries. They set the standards. Whatever you do, they can be slandered. They recognize equality. They are full of humanity. We call them feminists. But a society, a pessimist, they do not consider pride as a matter of their feminism. For them, it is prejudice. It is a matter of determinism. We need to speak our mind. We need to respect. We need to achieve in life. So need to be confined. If feminism give you the way to lead a respectful life, follow this as a discontent and become a right. So according to me, feminism is nothing but standing up for your rights. It is not to go against a male or a male, we want to bring around a female dominated society. No, no, no. That is not feminism. Feminism means standing up for giving equality, that 50-50 percentage, which even right now, woman is struggling, even in the parliament house, whether it's in the political issues, whether it's in the social political ground, we are still struggling. Why do we have these differences? So feminism stands out for equality. Feminism stands out for the equal rights which a woman demands, which a woman caters to, which they are somehow been backfledged. Though to certain extent, because of our Prime Minister's new speech which has come up, and we are evolving into that new process, but still a long way to go, wherein the respect of a woman will come side by side. We all know that nature created men and women as equal. God never differentiated between a man and a woman while creating them. They had sent us into this world together. When there was a necessity of a female in the world, it was at that time that a female came. So a male and a female are both side by side. No one can exceed that level. And when it does, then we come up with this idea. So feminism is a big shout out to all the females who really wants to stand and walk together with the males. We do not want to exclude the males from the society, which is absolutely wrong. We want the males also together with us so that we together can bring around the change. So that is feminism according to me. Thank you so much, sir.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic. Really wonderful answer. Now let us hear from Professor Dr. Binu Thomas. The same.
Thank you, sir, for giving me this opportunity to present. This is a very good topic, the need of the hour, which every second person in the society is facing some problem or the other. So, according to me, as Professor Rachana Chakraborthy has said, all about the main important points of feminism and feminists, I would like to add on to a few points. So, first of all, let me just explain what a feminist is. A person who believes in feminism and tries to achieve change that helps women to get equal opportunities and treatment. So a feminist is someone who supports equal rights for women. That is the most important thing. We don't want to remove men from the scenario. We want women also to be included in the society. That is someone who supports equal rights for women. So if your brother objects strongly to women being paid less than men for doing the same job, he's probably a feminist. If you believe that women should have same political, social, economic rights as men, you are feminist. In honor of Women's History Month, in March we are celebrating the women who have had huge impacts on the feminist movement. For all its misconceptions, feminism at its core is about fighting for women's equality. That's the most important core here. And feminism is also a range of socio-political movements, ideologies that aim to define and establish the political, economic, personal, and social equality of sexes. Feminism also incorporates the position that society prioritizes the male point of view and that women are treated unjustly in these societies. Efforts to change this include fighting against gender stereotypes, establishing educational, professional, interpersonal opportunities and outcomes for women that are equal to those for men. If you believe that women should have the same political, social, and economic rights as men, you are a feminist. It has absolutely nothing to do with putting down men or boys in order to elevate the status of the women. So that is very important. So once when you talk about feminism or feminists, it is not that we are going to put down men or boys in order to elevate the status of the women. That is not the thing. The feminism is an interdisciplinary approach to issues of equality and equity based on gender, gender expression, gender identity, sex and sexuality as understood through social theories and political activism. Historically, feminism has evolved from the critical examination of inequality between that sexes to a more focus on the social and performative construction of gender and sexuality. Gender equality is not a worsen issue, but affects both men and women as it is rooted in the relation between the two. Both men and women have to change their ways of working, attitudes, and social norms to ensure that both are equally empowered and dignified. I would like to say just two examples, small examples. Say, let's look at South Africa. When South Africa embraced the democracy in 1994, women set up the Soul City program using drama, entertainment, and multimedia presentation. Soul City has reached more than 80% of South Africa's population with their message that improving health outcomes and preventing the spread of AIDS is the best achieved by the community action around consent and sexual health education. Now, let me just put another example of Mali. Women played a vital role in bringing peace to Mali. So the platform of women leaders of Mali worked through the media and community engagement to raise understanding of the peace agreement. After it was signed, they continued to lobby government on threats to their security. A new land reform policy set aside 15% of government-managed land for Women's Association and other groups in India. So with this, I would like to present a very positive note for the society, that is people who believe that we do not need feminism today, but nothing could be further from the truth. Women have struggled for equality and against oppression for centuries, and although some battles have been partly won, such as the right to vote, equal access to education, women are still disproportionately affected by all forms of violence and by discrimination in every aspect of life. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much for that elaborate answer. Fantastic. Sonesh ji, you are a brand, fire brand. We can expect your answer. But anyway, the question is a question. What is feminist and who is feminist and what is feminism?
So, as very brilliantly explained by both the eminent speakers, right? So, when we talk about feminism, so let's understand in a broader sense, because almost each and every single point being covered so eloquently here, so deliberately they have mentioned the points. So, I would like to highlight here in a very simple meaning. Feminism is all about all genders having equal rights and opportunities, right? It's about respecting diverse women's experiences, identities, knowledge, strength, and striving to empower all women to realize their full rights. Today, we should not discriminate that somebody who is illiterate, somebody who is graduate, somebody who is a PhD holder, or somebody who is working for a corporate. A lady or a woman needs to be respected in all the means, because respect has nothing to do with your gender. Right? Today you deal with a small kid, you deal with a male, you deal with a transgender, you deal with a female. I think everything makes a huge sense if you understand the meaning of respect for each and every single person. Because ultimately we all are humans. And we need to understand when we talk about feminism, it's not about overpowering who you are. It's all about uplifting whosoever you meet in your life. That's called real feminism. And in my terms, I think being a woman, we always hold slightly much, I would say, very, very sensitive energies around us, where we can brilliantly bring the balance. And what is that balance is all about? We are not here on this planet to fight a race between proving who is superior. A male is superior or a female is superior. We are here to create a balance between these two powers, because God has created male and female for certain reasons. If We have to just show each other who is more superior. God could have never created this mess out of it, isn't it? But irony of the life is we don't understand the basic concept of our ancient Indian culture, which is so brilliantly explained. Today, you take any, I would say, any novel you take, any beautiful art and culture related to ancient Indian you take, everything describes only one thing: both powers of male and female has an equal existence. Today, a female cannot say, I'm more superior than a male, and same equally goes to a male. And most important, when these two elements are balanced, they create a beautiful, unique creation where they start enhancing, uplifting the others also in the society. That's the real meaning when you talk about feminism, right? Feminism is the belief in social, economical, political equalities of the sexes. Although largely originated in the West, feminism is manifested worldwide, and it is represented by various institutes committed to activity on behalf of women's rights and interest. Today, irony is a woman still fights after ages for their basic rights. I don't want to here highlight recent incidents where my heart was just crying out day in, day out, the kind of incident today I see with women. It's irony, right? As a humans, I think we should have a respect to whatever is happening around us. And if you find something is not going as per whatever it should be, I think we have all the rights to raise our voice. And that's why I always say that I'm a hardcore, I should say, fan of your themes, that you really bring the topic on the notch. Today, this topic is the need of the hour, right? Throughout, if I talk about most of the Western histories, women were confined to the domestic sphere, while public life was reserved for men. If I talk about slightly a historic way, right? In medieval Europe, if I talk about, women were denied to have the rights to property. Now, this has become a very serious issue nowadays. Today, women's need equal rights, yes, because it is from a security angle and it is also from an equality background. Today, she's not asking your right to a property as because she's your wife or she's your daughter or she's whosoever in relationship with. She is asking that right because she fairly deserves that right, being a human on this planet, right? Because all the rights are not reserved for male. Hey, you are the son of the family, so the entire property rights will go only to the son. There is no such rule. We need to understand, right? So to study, to participate in public life, you have equal rights. At the end of 19th century, if I talk about, they were still compelled to cover their heads in public, right? And even as late of, if I talk about 20th century, women could neither vote nor hold a elective office. Women were prevented from conducting businesses without a male representative, which is still also in existence, right? Be it father, brother, husband, legal agent, or even son, you have to include one male participant in your, if you want to run a business. Married women could not exercise control over their own children without the permission of their husbands. Moreover, women had little, or I would say rather no, access to education and were barred from most of the professions. In some part of the world, such restrictions on women continue till today. And we fairly know the examples that why women suffer today, because somewhere we don't give them equal rights of education. We don't give them equal rights to stay as competent and as equal to a male counterparts. We underestimate their potential. We say a lady cannot run a successful business. A lady cannot go and rule on to the top corporate leadership levels. A lady is nowhere fairly successfully qualifies the ground to lead a political so strong, I would say, the positions. Why we underestimate all this? Where it is written, in which book it is written that only male is qualified to do all this such kind of jobs? I think nowhere. And till today, we don't have any proven or so-called patthar ki lakir kind of events which states that males are always superior. It is all our mindset. Until unless we don't change that mindset, feminism is still going to be a question. So what does, if I quietly simply, feminism is all about, as I mentioned, genders having equal rights and opportunities. It's all about respecting diverse women's experience, identities, knowledge, and strive to empower all women to realize their full rights. Because until unless you don't give that power to these ladies, they are never going to understand what sort of hidden potentials they do have in them and what they can bring best to this planet. Because somewhere I feel when we underestimate a human potential, we are doing injustice to the God's best creation called humans, right? Because you are just stopping them. The goal of feminism was to create equity, which is essential for leveling the playing field to ensure that no one's rights are violated due to factors like very brilliantly mentioned previously as race, gender, language, religion, sexual orientation, gender identity, political or other beliefs, nationalities, social origin, class, or wealth status. I want to highlight here wealth status. Today, the irony is when two people want to get married, they always check the status based on what sort of bank account or bank balance they do have, right? What sort of property matters they do carry. Do they come from a very rich background so that they can balance themselves on certain things on the material basis, which nowhere holds the right realistic checks in terms of whether the relationship is going for the right way or wrong way. And that's the reason today you find most of the relationships do not exist because there is no equal respect being given to the both parties. Today they are trying to just level up based on materialistic gains. What I am getting from the opposite person is the race they are running. Rather, they have to understand it's all about a game of respect. It's all about game of giving equal treatment to each other, whether you are a male or a female. And on this note, I want to say this is not a term to be defined only for feminism. It's all about much more on to creating equal opportunities for everyone and treating humans to the best level of satisfaction. That's a feminism for me. Because according to me, if a leader, especially a female leader, is in a powerful state of mind and a powerful position if she is heading, I think she holds more responsible ground to uplift every single person in the society, no matter what, whatever religion, no matter what, whatever gender they come from. So that's all about feminism for me.
Fantastic, Excellency. Professor Rachana Chakraborthy ma'am started with this program with sounding like chirping birds. A happy sounds, smoother, finer, cuter. Then it is taken to next level by Professor Dr. Binu Thomas, like it's raining. Something is raining and nature. That so everything is so beautiful and looks very. Now it has taken the momentum of a storm with Sonesh Bharadwaj. Really, that's so great. That's so great. Because feminism is feminism. That has to be sounded like that. Because the way you sounded, that's fantastic. A true feminism. Because when we are able to voice it out, because we have to voice it out,
Yes.
I appreciate your accent, the power, the pressure that you are using. That's so much commendable. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Now we want all the answers from your life. Because bookish knowledge, that's good. That's good. At the same time, now people are expecting some experiences from our personal life. So now I'm going to ask you a question as a feminist or as a woman leader, as a woman educator, your opinion. Because there are so many constraints and discriminations for women in our society. That's a fact. For example, there are more do's and don'ts. Women should not go out after 6 p.m. where boys can be allowed or gents can be allowed. For going a movie, it's a very simple task for boys, whereas girls, it's not. Okay, there are so many restrictions. Boys will be given outside works and girls will be given, they will be made ever since they were kids, queens of the kitchen. You know, women are considered the queens of the kitchen. There is a saying. And women are saying, women are known as Paraidan. Paraidan. And they have to they have to touch the feet. So there are so many obligations, so many restrictions, so many do's, so many don'ts. So, of course, anyway, our women have habituated for all these, but still they are constraints. Okay, they should be discussed. If a woman is comfortable with all these, it's okay, good, fine. But whereas if she is not comfortable, what it is. So, what according to Professor Rachana Chakraborthy, all these rules, restrictions, what do you say, Excellency, on this?
Yes, thank you so much, sir. Yes, I was just overhearing Engineer Sonesh Bharadwaj. Yeah, it's really true that yes, that is what feminism is. And we all need to voice out right now. It's not about, talking about the gender equality. As we know that looking back to our history, going back to our communities, if you see all the gods and goddess, I'm not against any religion, you will see Vishnu ji, Lakshmi ji in the feet of Vishnu ji. Why? Why do we have to do that? And that is where we were taught as a child, as a woman growing up, that your husband is your God. And we grew up with that. And growing up that my husband is my Devta, Pati is Parmeshwar. So a child, as soon as a girl is born in the house, has been trained that you cannot eat before your father. Why do we do that? Why do we need to put that restrictions? Whereas the son is not taught like that. He comes and takes his food and sits with his father and just eats it. Why doesn't the same thing been taught to a girl child in the house? Why is she been taught to be very traditional, very soft, very polite? Why all the things a girl should be trained at? That is where feminism comes, and that is where I give a real shout out to everyone that we should really raise our voice. It is not, if a child is liking it, for example, I love to wear sindoor on my forehead. That doesn't mean I am, making it a rule or a regulation in my whole family that everyone wears sindoor and move around. No, that's not it. It's their wish. If they want, it's okay. If they don't want, it's okay. I love to wear it. I feel that it's something which goes with my attire, probably. Whatever it is, XYZ, it's in my mindset. I do it on my own. That doesn't mean I am an example for all the females in the house and they should be like Rachana, Chakraborthy and all wearing sindoor and, these bangles which we wear. This is my cup of tea. If a female does not like, if any female member in the house does not like it, they may not go with it. Though we have been trained, we have been nurtured in that way as a child, we grew up. I never teach my girls in that way. I always tell them, voice out what you like it, do what your heart says. And that is where feminism comes in. We have seen when we worship the gods and goddesses. I am a true devotee of Shiva, Lord Shiva. But that doesn't mean that I will take out from there and tell my girls right now to respect like Parvati did to Lord Shiva. There was a lot of traditional beliefs in the Hindu mythology. If we go back, wherein were trained that every female in the house will use behind their name their husband's name. Like, for example, Rachana, Ranjan, Chakraborthy. Why? Where is my name? Where is my identity? Though to certain extent it has now been erased. It has been removed already. Some of them are still using because they like it. Like I use it, I love it. Because my husband's name is there with me. That doesn't mean I will tell my daughters to do the same thing. That doesn't mean I will tell my students to do the same thing. I do it because I love. My family members do not like it. They might not do it. So it is not compulsory. And that doesn't mean that I am a pure feminist and I am a revolutionary, I'm a rebel in the house and everyone should say that I'm going against tradition, the culture, custom. No, whenever I meet any female members in the house, I tell them that do what your heart says. Don't see somebody and do. Don't remember the traditions and customs. Do what your heart says, because a son in the house is also trained to do it in that way. If you feel it is correct to enter the house at 12 o'clock at night, you can do it. You should be able to take care of yourself. If a girl is able to take care of themselves, then of course a girl child can also enter after working, because the girl is also working and coming home at 12 o'clock, and the male is also working and coming home at 12 o'clock. Who are the neighbors to tell about them, whisper about them that how can she enter so late in the house? The same thing doesn't go when a male is entering. So I feel that there are many traditions which we have not taught our girls to do the self-love. We have always trained our girls. We have nurtured our girls with that soft thing that they are always second to a male, which I really go against it. I support, I do many things as per my tradition, as per my culture, because I love to do it. And there should be no obligation that just because your mother is doing, you should also do it. No, I don't support to that. Just because Mrs. Chakraborthy in the house is doing this, every females in the house should do it. No, in my family, there are many people who do not wear this white and the red bangles. It's okay, perfectly fine. I don't stand out against them. It is their wish, their call. Many of them don't apply sindoors. So it's okay. Not a problem at all. That is their wish, their call. So when I go out and say that the traditionalism there, the culture which is there, it is not that a woman is standing out or against it, touching the feet. It is, I do it because of respect. I feel it's okay with me. So I just bend down, literally I sleep. Of course, my brother-in-law and everyone tells it's not necessary nowadays. You can just put your hand and take the blessing. But I don't do it because that is my mindset. But that doesn't mean I want my daughters also to do in the same way. That is not right. We should never force a female by looking at another. See your mother, so you should also do the same thing. So that is absolutely wrong. I do something which I love. And there can be no one, saying that follow her, look at her and follow her. No, I do because I love. Tomorrow I might not love. So I might not use the same thing. So who are there to say that, अरे कल तक तो वो बराबर अच्छे से आ रही थी, आज क्या हो गया अचानक से? That is my love for particular thing, because I respect my husband. So I love to use his name, his surname, because my friends, I remember telling me that, why you're still using your husband's surname? Nowadays, we have the right to use our own name. I said, yes, perfectly fine. I support you. I will never discard your name. Of course, you can use. That is your feelings, but my feelings is different. So that doesn't mean that we are restricting the females to our culture in the name of culture, tradition, and restricting them into a box. We don't do the same thing for a male member. Have we trained a male that you should respect the sister in the house? Are we doing that as mothers, as females in the house? Have we really trained them that a female has a son ever sit back and seen what the mother eats in the house? Just let it go back towards the others. Does the son stay back? It's the daughters who always do. So why don't we give them that liberalism to follow? So that is where I make a shout out to all the females, that whenever there is injustice for a woman anywhere, whether it's in the workplace, whether it's in the house, don't feel frightened to step in the front and support her. Don't feel that, oh my God, I will be counted as wrong. No, you should stand out with them and make a shout out with them. If a child doesn't want to get married for XYZ reason, why is the society forcing that the child should get married? Why? Why is the society involving into, no, this is the age now, you have crossed 20 years, you're not married. After 25 years, you're not a mother. Why? My God, who are they to tell us? It is my wish when I want to become a mother. Maybe I became a mother at 20 years of age. That doesn't mean my daughter will become a mother at 21 years of age and people will come and tell her, still now you are unmarried, still now you are not a mother. So this is where we have a cry, we have a shout out for everyone that we need to stand up for all the females. What you do is your call, not the society's call. So I just want to bring out all these notices because I too have 2 daughters. During the special days, the 7 days, during the periods days, it is really very, very difficult for a girl child to go and speak. But my daughters never feel shy to say to their fathers, discussing about their if they have to bring a bag from the market. It is quite natural because that's a natural process for a girl. Why should we feel shy? I go for many social visits wherein I meet these ladies in the villages who hide their face when we distribute pads. So I just make and tell them that this is nothing to hide. It's a general thing which we have it as females. So there is nothing to hide. It's something which we should really face it and tell it to our males so that we can be treated properly. If we are suffering anything, we should not think that, okay, this is the regular thing. Always we have this pain. No, this pain might become more tomorrow and it might become cancerous also to a certain extent. So it is not good to hide certain things from the male counterparts. So we do not want, again, as Professor Binu Thomas had said, and Sonesh Bharadwaj had said, that I do not stand out that we need a male-free society. Of course, we need the male. The word woman itself has men in it. So how can we go without the male? I want only that much, that every woman and male should have equal status, which the male enjoys in a office or in any other work areas. So why isn't the female been given that? So that is my real shout out for every male here.
Thank
that
you, thank you,
should
thank you, thank you so much.
respect your
So said
female.
finally, as long as women are comfortable, as long as women feel free, there is no
Yes.
restrictions.
No one
Yeah,
should be
enjoy it,
strict.
yes.
Even with the dress code, also, we should allow them to wear any dress code. Men should put down their eyes if you don't want to look. Why should a woman wear something covered from head to foot just because a man is having a different perspective of looking at a woman? Woman can wear anything and go out
Great.
what she feels is comfortable to her, what she
Now,
feels is
now
okay
we
with.
need short answers because in 15 minutes we are going to end this
Yeah,
program.
yeah.
2
Thank
or
you
3
so much.
minutes. Binu Thomas ji, what is your opinion about all the restrictions to women? It may be queens of kitchen, parai, touching feet, so many restrictions to women. What do you say about all these?
Since Professor Rachana has elaborated so well, I don't think I need to elaborate further. But one thing I want to say is feminism in India has been controversial always and under fire due to the influence of many traditions which he has been explaining, religions, customs, and orthodox laws. So this is what constrains people from all these things. Now, as you have said, sir, the feet touching. The touching of feet of elders to seek blessing is one of the nicer traditions in Hinduism. This is only in the Hinduism. Some other communities practice it too, though to a lesser extent. Of course, you rarely touch the feet. It is more. It's more the moment of bending, bowing, or to show some respect. So it is more prevalent in northern and central India. I am from South India, as sir, you are also from South India. I am the southernmost part from Kerala. So South Indians generally prefer the full length of Sashtanga Namaskar, I think. But I do wonder why young politicians feel when a supporter as old as him or even older feels obliged to touch his feet. So since we have discussed quite a lot about feminism, I'm just coming to feet touching also. Looking even younger than their 40 odd years, I wonder why they allow the supporters to touch their feet. So we can see them repeatedly on TV. So the young politicians also have had the benefit of good education, exposure to West, where this kind of gesture is unthinkable. What stops them from telling their supporters to cease and desist from practice? It probably gives them the feeling of power over human beings and therefore reinforces their self-esteem. Now, touching feet is what I feel is a misused Indian tradition, but it has got so many benefits, like you are taking blessings from the elders, which we don't have in my state. We don't have this tradition. So that is what I feel. But when you go through, there are so many positive side for that. The truth is that when they want to or not to, the smile an elder gets when you give them that respect is truly wonderful to see. Even though I personally feel that it's a tradition, a misused tradition. Why? Because in my state we don't have that. So, but it has got so many positive aspects to that. A simple act of bowing down to touch someone's feet to seek blessings from their aura, setting our ego aside, and is just a sign of respect. So that is something, a positive note. Respect for experiences, age, or success of another. There is science and tradition behind the act itself, but the smile is an intelligent one that shows that they appreciate it. And the beauty of blessings, that is the best thing. Good wishes cannot be denied. The elders touch your head with emotions filled with karuna, that is affection, and bless you. This emits positive vibes from the elders, which are passed on to you. So that is even though in some states you don't have this tradition, it has got its own positive tradition. But when I talk about scientifically, the human body is said to contain negative and positive current. So the left side of the body is said to carry the negative current, while the right side of the body carries positive energy. So when a person touches the feet of another person, two bodies connect with each other, which creates a complete circuit of positive and negative energy. It is said that touching the feet of elders also has biological significance. The nerves are spread all over the body of a human. Some of them end at the toes of the feet and the fingertips of our hands. So when the fingertips of a person touch the toes of his or her elders, the finger becomes the receptor of energy, thereby accepting energy emitted from the body of elders, while the toes of elders become the giver of energy. Now, touching the feet of elders, the home, in every home, say in a joint family, half workout is done there itself. You're bending down, taking blessings from the elders. That means your workout, which you do in the gym, is over here. Now, next thing which I would like to talk about it, because Professor Rachana has spoken quite a lot about the other one. I would not take time on that. Me Too, which is also another topic of today. If I am allowed to speak.
Just wait a minute. After taking the opinion of Sonesh ji, we'll come to Me Too. Okay?
Okay, sir.
Okay. Bharadwaj ji, what is your opinion on all these, what we call women are considered as queens of keychain, so
Yes.
many do's and don'ts to women, touching feet. There are so many.
There is a big list to a woman. I would say that, and the whole list is very brilliantly explained by
Yes.
two fellow eminent speakers. I quickly tell you one thing. See, it's a perception. Let me tell you, I am a spiritual healer, and I work a lot with energies. Right. So when we talk about energies, it has a scientific meaning. Right. I'm just going to talk two important points here. I come from a state called Haryana, and in Haryana, Parda system is at extreme level. When I was just 22, when I have to move out of my state for my career building, right? So in marriages, I have seen my mom, my chachis, my aunties and thais, we have a huge joint family. Everybody used to follow Parda system. And one fine day I was asking my mom, what makes you to put such kind of big Parda system? Can't you guys without Parda? My mom started laughing. She said, you are too young to explain this. I told, one day when my brother will get married, I'll ensure there is no Parda system in my house, and that's what exactly I executed. My mom was like, why you are against Parda system? I said, I'm not against the tradition you follow, but please understand, right now the generation is changing. Today, a modern girl, whosoever is coming to your house, she has to feel like a homely environment, keeping the healthy boundaries of the tradition in the family. There is a respect to the elders. Yes, respect is not about you put a parda and then you don't talk to your elders. Respect is all about use wonderful word, proper languaging skill, and ensure by following those all right boundaries, you set the right example to the modern society, because you cannot be orthodox. I come from a very typical Brahmin family where my mom prepares a sattvic food. You know what is sattvic food? No lasan, no onion, nothing. I eat that. And I was talking to my mom, why you want me to eat such kind of thing? I was a sports person. She said, shut your mouth and eat. I understood the scientific reason slightly later. Because when I started my spiritual journey, I understood why she was forcing me to eat that. Because today, the kind of food we eat, the water we drink, the energy and the people we meet have a scientific reason to connect. Today, I'm able to speak so confidently. And if you feel my thoughts are very a kind of straightforward and pure, is just because my food has a huge impact on my body, and it has a scientific meaning. Like when we talk about touching the feet, let me tell you, touching the feet is all about what? Very brilliantly explained by Professor Binu, that it's all about passing on energy, right? But in Indian mythology, we have our elders, right? Why we touch feet of elders is simple. One is blessings. Secondly is, when somebody gives you a blessing, you cleanse your aura, because we every day meet so many negative, so many good people, so many dangerous people, right? And we all get corrupted in our aura. Today 90% people suffer in life because their aura is not clean, and they don't believe this. They say, no, everything is happening right, we will do this. Today their food practices, today the way they think, the way they speak, the way they meet people, the way they treat, everything is having a directly relation with what you follow in your day-to-day routine life. And it's a scientific reason, provenly said in so many scientific studies, right? So when somebody touches your head, in Indian mythology we do namaskara, right? Indian mythology never say go and do handshake. There is again a reason behind it, because when you do handshake and let's say your aura is very negative, you pass on negative energy to the opposite person, which is again a very bad omen, right? So what we do, we close our hands and we just say we keep our energy to ourselves. Let's say if I'm not so positive, let me just rub my shoulder with the most highest positive person and make my aura clean. And that's why we have a so much brilliant concept of taking blessings from our elders, because we believe our elders have done probably something great in life. And today it's a clear cut distinguishing factor. Today we make better money than our grandparents, than even our parents also. Let me tell you this, right? We have better resources, we have better technology, we have better reach to education, and we suffer the most as compared to our earlier generations. In terms of satisfaction, in terms of leading a life, in terms of how they used to be very happy, they never used to make such big amount of money. I have seen families who have only 20,000 rupees income, and there was a family of 10 members, a one person earning hand, and he has to take care of everyone. You know why? Because they always believe the concept of elders' blessing, and they believe the concept of traditional way of approach. But it's not that every traditional approach you need to follow. I'm absolutely not against the ancient culture, but I always believe a healthy boundary, a combination, a right perfect mix of your traditional approach with your modern approach has to be blended together, so that tomorrow your future generation, your children's, their further generation, when they come, they should not feel disconnected what was Indian culture was all about. That's the sad part. And nothing can be said than this, right? Tomorrow I don't want my further generations to say, oh, who was this so and so? What is this Indian mythology? Why we put sindoor? Why we put bindi? Today it's so irony, modern girls don't understand what is the purpose behind putting a sindoor. I love Rachana ji's representation of putting a sindoor. It's a belief system, and nowhere it happens than in a Hindu system, right? So you should feel proud about it rather than feeling why I am putting so. See, that's your option. But I really love that the way she carries her. It's her belief system and it's her attachment. The same where blessing also plays the same kind of role. Even as a girl in my tradition, I'm not supposed to touch male's feet. Very honest, genuine example I'll give you. But I lost my grandparents when I was in second standard, very early in my age, right? And I always used to touch feet of elderly people in my house, and they always used to scold me. Till today, I visit a lot of NGOs and I always try to touch their feet first, because I have a very strong feeling that my grandparents are with me to give me blessings, right? That's my belief system. So I don't go with this perception when people say, hey, you are slightly old. I said, keep telling. I still enjoy that old tradition, because I believe anything and everything, when you have a healthy boundaries, keep your tradition in touch, because Indian culture is very rich, but don't become orthodox. I'm not against today what girls wear, but please, as a parents, as a adult person, have a mindset of what you're supposed to wear in your daytime, what you're supposed to wear in your nighttime. I have seen girls who are in the night dress, they stood up in the morning, go to a shop, buy a milk packet and come, and nobody's there to point out, hey, you're not supposed to just at least roam out. See, it's an option, you can go, but then later on, don't only put a blame on male. Why male is looking at me this? Because somewhere even you are not right. I'm not saying that you are wearing a wrong cloth, but probably the presentation of you is not right at that point of time. Right? So I think this distinguishing factor we need to give to our young generation very clearly. You wear whatever you love to, but at least have a sense when you are going for a social gathering, when you are going a traditional marriage, what you're supposed to wear. I ask all of you one simple question. You're going to a traditional, let it be South Indian or North Indian marriage, right? And your daughter is wearing an additional Western dress. Don't you feel so 20 people are going to ask you as a parents as a question, what your daughter or son is wearing? Now you can become super feminist in your own way and say, hey, it's my daughter. Why? Nobody will ask you. But again, there is a second angle to it. Are you following a good combination of tradition plus modernity? Because that's the combination we have to give to our young generation. That's how our young generation will still stick to our ancient culture, and they will be able to survive in a better mood and better integrity. This is my belief system, and I feel this is pretty much healthy because I still follow, and it is helping me a lot. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Excellencies. Thank you so much. Really, I am feeling it. It's an honor to us, gents, because actually I started this program to see what are the negative aspects in women as per women leaders, but it has become a felicitation to gents. The feminism, the program has become a felicitation program to gents. Thank you so much, because it's a third session, but I never see one woman criticizing against a gent. I don't know how we have become so much good, but we
No,
have a
for gents, I have a one simple point to mention. In our houses and homes, when we have son, right? We should, I think right now today, marriage cases is very, very practical example. Again, I want to bring it out. I'll just take 2 minutes here. When we talk about marriage system today, you know why Indian marriages are failing? Why we are heading towards 90% divorces? There is a strong reason, and today our males are the strong reason behind it, because we don't train our male that how you should treat your wife. The male approach to a wife remains the same. Either he is too chipko or he's too about mama's, kind of by what my mom says, I'll do the same. You want to stay in the house, you have to respect to my mom. Respect has different way. When you are getting married to somebody, it's a responsibility. Please understand, you're not getting somebody in your life just because you need kids. You need a servant who is full-time servant in your house, right? There's an equal respect. And today, I think the girls has become fairly educated on this sense, and all they deserve is a right to equality. They don't need anything else. They don't need a husband who is 5-star and 7-star kind of approach all the time. Let me tell you, a genuine woman always need a right respect, and she deserves it in all the ways. That is her first, I would say, requirement in life. And a male, if you ask me, needs a integrity and respect in return from a lady. It's never been about money, body looks, your good makeup looks is all good for good 6 months and 1 year as a honeymoon time, right? Later on, if you want to lead a life, you want a committed relationship, you need to understand it has to be built on right mental connect, emotional connect, and then you bring the whole journey of bringing the best in each other. That's called right may, if you ask me, called a feminism.
Yeah, I'll just add into that, RajaRao sir, to Sonesh ma'am's concept. Yeah, it's true that the Indian marriages, a lot of percentage are falling, and I've been counseling such ladies also. And mainly it is the males who really needs to understand the woman's point of view. They have somehow this 20 years, 25 years, why does a marriage breaks out after 20 years of that marriage bond tied together? It's just because the male had never thought for a single day about this female. The female was the one who went on adjusting, went on doing, went on trying to make that bond stronger and stronger and stronger. But the male counterpart never tried to make that bond more stronger. As a result, how much more one person can keep it tied up, and it has to break. Something which is not going together, something which this female was trying because of the culture, tradition. She had tried to maintain this bond to go on for 20 years, 21 years. Suddenly it breaks out. Why? It is just because the male never looked behind and never thought that there is also this female in the house. He has always thought, just because she's my wife, she has to do this, she has to do that. She is completely destined to do all these things. She has to speak always good about me, always blah, 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 all these good things about me. If one point is negative, then I will just jump into her life. So as a result, I feel that the males need to understand. Of course, we as females, we respect the males. And of course, when it comes to a better half, we respect them more because it's in our tradition, in our culture. As I already pointed out, Engineer Sonesh ji, that in our culture and tradition always says that. So we always respect. It is inborn, innate in us. And as a result, we respect them as God, our better half as God. But there somewhere the God should come down and look at their person who is there. But this God never comes down. The God became more God and more devotee. And now he has really started thinking that, yes, I am the God. But after 20 years, this female wants also little respect, that at least let me sit beside you and enjoy that position of a God also.
But I think, Rachana ma'am, I just want to brilliantly add one simple point, RajaRao sir. Always remember, as a male, if you're talking about God things, I mean, if we talk about Vishnuji and Lakshmi as a pair, we talk Shiv and Parvati, these were energy bodies. Always remember, Parvati ji was always with Shiv, Lord Shiva. So if you really want that kind of treatment, you have to be first Shiva. When you are not Shiva, you can't expect your wife to be a Parvati, right?
Yeah,
so
true,
it is something like you are expecting, you are Ravan, and you are expecting my wife should be Sita.
Wife should be Sita. Wife should be Parvati.
Parvati.
And you are like Ravan. You are not no longer Mahadev, Devoka Dev, Mahadev.
Even Ravan, being a Brahmin, had a common sense. He never gone into a wrong touching of Sita ji. The reason was he was always understood certain rules and regulations of a lady. Yes, right? But today, modern era, we have a very different Ravans. We have extreme limits of Ravans. Extreme
limits, yeah, true. Very true. If we go back to the culture and tradition, we will see that. Right. There is a difference. There is some sort of a gap between the Ravans who they're demonstrating their part and their way of approaching to a lady.
Yes.
We have seen even in the court, Duryodhan, how he was trying to, take out the sari from Draupadi. So it was just like that. But nowadays, the Ravan, if we call Duryodhan now, what he can do in the courtroom, we can never illustrate that, even in public. So we need to use a lot of hashtags for that. Again, there will be a lot of hashtags. We have no problem about a man being a god. But the problem is that the men should think the female also to be their god. Why can't they think that? That is where I have to really shout out. We always feel very happy to consider my husband as God, consider everything for them. But why can't the men think their wife also to be God? Why, when we say one simple negative word, they just think that we are totally against them? So that is where we need to consider, and we need really the upbringing of a son, of a child, of a boy, male in the house, to be brought up in that way that they are trained to respect the females in the house, whether she is your sister, your mother, or your wife. You need to respect them too. We demand respect. We do not want to move ahead of the male, but we want the equal status. We want to walk step by step together with the male, hand in hand. So that is what is, I feel, the real talk about is. Thank you so much, RajaRao.
The nuclear family nowadays, they should have that sense of bringing up the children, boys and girls with equal respect in the home. In the olden days, it was the boys who were given more respect, more they were given more facilities, benefits as compared to girls. So that is why the extent of violence against women around the world today is shameful and shows little sign of abating. While as a global community, it is possible to pass laws to criminalize the violence, law alone will not ask men to respect the opposite gender. So one of my favorite quotes states that is the stronger people do not put others down, they lift them up. That is what I could say today.
Fantastic, fantastic. Anyway, finally, we got one complaint from women leaders. That's so great. But let me add one point here. Of course, I agree with you in all. Venerating a husband as a god or husband venerating as. But I expect, I mean, on behalf of gender fraternity, at least if a man is recognized as a man, that's enough. If he is respected as a man, he is working very hard. If he has been given one compliment wholeheartedly from his wife, he never ever leave his wife. That is for sure. One thing. Second thing, in case if he is being harassed or whatever it may be done to him, if he has a kids, he never ever leave his family. Of course, if something happens between a wife and a husband, that is before, that is first anniversary of their marriage. Because that happens for every family. Even though it's a love marriage or whatever the marriage may be, it happens during the first year of their wedding. Because there are so many complications, so many reasons, adjustment between two families or two different personalities. It happens. But once they have a kid or after completion of successful 1 year, they automatically come into an adjustment. So that will be done. But the thing is, they won't respect, especially ladies. Ladies, for outer world, they say that God said all, but inside I never ever see such things. Scenario is different because we experience all these.
No, RajaRao sir, I want to add. I always consider my husband as.
Okay. That's why I'm saying. That's why I'm saying.
I consider my husband to be a god,
your husband is
and he is really a god for me.
Having you in your life, really, he is a gifted person. So I say, but really, what happening is, if husband is treated as an ATM, believe it or not, he never ever be respected or at least he never ever be complimented. But even then, he begs because you don't know the other side of the coin. Okay, I will tell you when masculinism is a topic, then I will explain what is happening in gents' life, why they are all facing heart attacks and all.
No, actually, both the sides. Yes, you are right, RajaRao sir. There is a single coin and there are two sides to it.
Yes,
so we have to consider both, right?
Both. Yeah,
Thank
many
you.
of them do not consider like that.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we have a last
Respect
question.
both.
We have a last question. I appreciate all the answers, but don't support these. Because if you go to internet, there are so many reasons why we are against the Me Too movement, but it is a sexual harassment. It may be culture. Don't support it on the name of culture, on the name of energy, on the name of tradition. Because a wrong is a wrong. Whether it has historical reasons or whatever it may be, it is a sexual harassment, a sexual abuse. It is a Me Too movement. It is to be considered in the serious premises. Okay, don't say that this is always there in our history. This is always there in our. So doing this is nothing. Don't come with such type of answers because we have to support the women who are under that hardships because they know the pain. Because those who are in comfortable zone, of course, we may say our perception is different. But the people, those who are struggling and suffering, right, we have to support them. Okay, so it's a Me Too movement. Just take 2 more minutes because we are going to end this program. Professor Rachana Chakraborthy, ma'am, what is your opinion about this Me Too movement, sexual abuse?
Yes. So actually the Me Too movement was made to give equal rights to the women who were being sexually abused. But nowadays it has been used in a different perspective altogether. It is like asking that if we should get rid of child protection laws because some kids empower themselves with crying wolf and getting their parents in trouble. It's like set up to help the needy, and it's sad that it will take some of them take advantage of it. But you can't just assume that everyone says something you don't like. It's just like making it up. So I feel that it is, some of them are using it, but it is the real concept behind it is that we should see the real necessity. Because of this movement, many of the women could voice out their something which they were not able to say. They were been exploited at many places, so they can now speak out in favor of their community. So there are more famous people who are also joining in the Me Too movement, but I do not agree actually that Me Too movement should be taken considerably only to for the girls. I feel that there are certain males also who should join this Me Too movement, because to a certain extent they are also been exploited under the coverage of Me Too movement. There have been many such reports coming up that the males too have been harassed in public places because of the Me Too. But that doesn't mean that we should stop the Me Too. There are really certain females who need to voice out, and Me Too is a great weapon for them. But we need to be really careful about those females who are really taking the best of it and trying to use it in the better places. We need not pick up that advantage and put it in a wrong place in different platforms. So I feel that when I'm talking that, for example, if I say that RajaRao sir is very good looking, handsome, and there, so nobody should tell me that, oh my God, why is she telling? She likes her husband so much. Well, how can she say about RajaRao sir? So then Me Too will come against it. So that is absolutely wrong. What I feel is my feeling. If I tell to my boss that, oh, he's such a nice guy, he's saying so nicely, properly, so then Me Too should not start from there. Oh my God, she is a biased lady, she is like that. So that is absolutely wrong. We should be free to express. Me Too movement was set out as a weapon for the girls who were sexually abused, who were harassed in their workplaces, inside their home, everywhere, where they can give a real cry out to everyone, and everyone can voice out along with them. Even in the house, when they were been sexually abused, they were not able to raise their voice and say. But since the coming in of the Me Too, people now know what is happening even inside in the house. But that doesn't mean it is happening in all the house. Maybe it is just 1% or 2% of the family. Every families do not have their males who are sexually abusing the girls. So let it get it very rightly that it is not the common thing for everyone. We should not take it that since a brother-in-law of so and so has sexually abused the the bhabhi of the house. So that doesn't mean every brother-in-law has to be looked under microscope. Everyone is not like that. So we need not make it a main decorum, a main statement that this Me Too should be utilized and used. What we feel we should be able to speak out to that. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much for your wonderful answer. And Dr. Binu Thomas, ma'am, 2 minutes, because the program will end in 5 minutes.
So
2 minutes. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, sir. I think Professor Rachana has elaborated quite a lot. I would just like to say the points regarding Me Too. It is a movement calling attention to the frequency with which primarily women and girls experience sexual assault and harassment. And it focuses on the experiences of sexual violence of survivors, has earned a large response in part because sexual harassment and sexual assault impact people every day. So we could hear in the TVs and read in newspapers so many instances where the women have been assaulted. So it is a social movement. So Me Too is a social movement. It is a very good movement because girls were suffering from ages. So this is a good positive attitude which has brought up. That is, it's a social movement against sexual abuse, sexual harassment, and rape culture in which people publicize their experience of sexual abuse or sexual harassment. So it is primarily concerned with 2 types of behavior, that is sexual harassment and sexual assault. So this can be, according to the Equal Employment Opportunity, which is commission, sexual harassment consists of unwelcomed sexual advances, which we know. So legally, sexual harassment workplace is covered under the Civil Rights Act of 1964, and it's later been changed, and so many new acts have been come in favor of these problem which the women and girls are facing in their homes, joint family, or even the nuclear family also. They are facing all these problems, and in the society also, and in the workplace. So this movement is a good positive step towards stopping this. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Sonesh Bharadwaj, ma'am, 2 minutes for you to speak on Me Too movement.
Sure. So I'll not explain what is Me Too movement because both the speakers has explained. Now let me tell you the consequences post Me Too, what has happened and what has changed literally in the system, which has helped people actually to go into this, right? It helps the survivors that they are not alone. That feeling is very, very important because there is a weaker section of women who has suffered a lot and they did not find anybody to support them. Like, see, today I have a general question to ask to media. How many media houses go and cover stories from rural or urban sectors which are happening to a normal or common man? Nobody goes. We only try to capture familiar faces. We only try to capture what is happening latest to the personalities who are so-called popular in their own ways, right? But nobody takes that initiative of going and covering to a story where a common man suffers, whether a girl or a woman. So I think Me Too, when they see some famous personality or at least a women leader steps into power and says that, hey, you have a right, you have a platform to speak and shout out at your voice, whatever you have suffered. I think a lot of common section people has come forward for that. That was the positivity which has added to this particular moment. And that was very, very essential because we stay in a very, very orthodox kind of environment where ladies have always been targeted. Hey, being a lady, you should not speak. And that's where men takes an undue advantage because they always target a women stating that the women will not speak. I don't want to highlight here certain incident which very recently in the last 10 to 12 days has happened, which was ironically very, very, I would say that's not good to a woman to happen. And it has only happened because somewhere they lost their power to talk. So I think Me Too has actually helped people to come slightly into a motivated side. It developed a stronger community where survivors have a voice. It demonstrated how widespread the issue is. It's not a small issue to target on. It's a wider issue because it is related to a women and a women security, safety. When we talk about if it is not been highlighted, then where they will go and highlight. Right? So we all need to understand it is a very, very important thing that ladies or women who are survivors or sufferers, they need to come forward and at least share what has happened so that emotionally they should not feel drained out or left alone. It shifted the social norms and opinions about the issue. It has exposed the belief system that enables abuse. Today, majority of the abuse or a sexual harassment or a physical extortion has happened to females because somewhere male candidates take this leveraging fact of a female has very less or underestimated power. No doubt, there are certain females who has overtook this opportunity also to play against male. I'm not completely favoring females, but we need to understand this platform is having a different setup altogether. You should not play just because you want to defame as a male personality, because I have seen certain male personalities also being defamed. They've been thrown out of their jobs because certain females has taken undue advantage, which is again not right. Right? It has updated and enacted laws and policies because that has put a force on government to put policies which are under security system of women rights. It has created avenues for survivors to speak up and share their stories. It broke the silence surrounding sexual harassment, sexual assault, sexual bullying. Sex is a very, very, I would say, stereotype word, especially in the Indian economy if we talk about. Right? But it's a very hard fact to believe that we don't understand the basic meaning and where we are suffering. It punished many powerful men through legal action and negative public opinion because they have misused their titles, they have misused their power, stating that we are powerful and nobody has a dare to touch us. I think this platform has really made them realize that offense is an offense, and by law and order, you have all the rights to get targeted if you are wrong at your side. No matter what, you are a powerful personality or you are a weak personality. When you are wrong, you are wrong. It has also highlighted the need for formal anti-harassment policies. POSH and POSCO has come into existence just because this Me Too movement has given a very, very good mileage to a lot of people to understand the anti-harassment policies. It has prompted several states to ban non-disclosure agreements where lot of glamorous fields, if I talk about Bollywood, if I talk about, let's say, glamorous areas where lot of things has been under wraps, I would say, people even will never come to know. Those disclosures has been done very legally right now, and it is a serious simple clause that everybody has to follow those clause. If a female is not agreeing to certain it, you can't force those people to just as they are famous stars or they are famous celebrities. There is no such law. It has resulted in new legal standards by the International Labor Organization, which is very, very important. So globally, there are certain laws, there are certain regulations which help everybody to stay safe and following the healthy boundary and ensure this is a simple platform to be utilized for the right utilization rather than misleading people of just going and defaming people, whether you are a male or a female. Right? That's all from my side on Me Too movement. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for that wonderful answer. So actually, I expected this program will end in 30 minutes, but maybe we'll see maximum up to 1 hour. But it is going to cross 1.5 hours. Really, that's a fantastic. So, Professor Rachana Chakraborthy ma'am, today you have brought culture and tradition together into the world of feminism. Kudos to you. Thank you so much. Because your perception has paved way from the culture and tradition. That's a great job because from the beginning to end, you never ever leave these two. So that's so great because your feminism is shaped and defined by the culture of India and the tradition of India. Thank you for your respect towards the tradition and culture of our nation. And Binu Thomas, ma'am, thank you so much. You are something like a scholar. As you are a registrar, you have come with the data. Because you are a registrar, there is no single point from you without the context. Because every point you have included here, a valid point. Because you did so much of research and come with a data, proper data, numbers, results, progress. That's so great. Putting so much efforts to bring the facts. Thank you.
I think it was like a class, I think.
Yes. Yes. Thank you so much for the valuable data. And Sonesh Bharadwaj, actually you are a rock star, but you added spiritual energy. So that's so great because these both are opposite. When we see that spiritual energy, when we see this modernity, both are completely opposite poles.
Right.
But anyway, you brought together. Sometimes you depend on the spiritual energy and sometimes you depend on the modernity. And finally, as a life coach, you try to mingle these two and have given a great shape to this program. Thank you so much. Whether we agree in all aspects or not, that is different. But we have voiced out for the uplift movement. Because I always say that it's not a war versus male and female. It's not war. It's about gender equality, to promote gender equality, to give respect the same way male receive in this society. So we hope that there is a day. And certainly this session will be used for the coming generations. The women leaders will sit and discuss by searching on YouTube and Binu Thomas ma'am in the year 2022 she mentioned this point and Professor Chakraborthy ma'am she mentioned all the valid points in our culture and tradition and Sonesh Bharadwaj she brought spiritual energy to modernity. What a wonderful program organized by Sri RajaRao Pagidipalli. They will discuss in future. They make points from this video. I hope so. Because no one will see today this video. Because whatever we are doing, not for today, it's sustainable development goals. Sustainable development in 2030, 2000, after that. But anyway, we are doing our job. We are raising our voice for a good cause. Thank you, Excellencies. Thank you for joining and spending your valuable time on this wonderful program and giving your voice for oppressed women.